Hey everybody, thank you so much for clicking on this video. So one of the biggest questions I get asked most frequently is, how do I know what weight to choose for my exercises? And that's a great question. It's also a little bit tricky because there's two different ways that you can approach this. The simple way and then the more strategic way. So today we're gonna break down both of those options. But I always want you to remember that the best movement is the movement that you're actually going to stick to. So if you have found a weight and a set and rep range that works for you and keeps you consistent and keeps you progressing toward your goals, that's awesome, stick with that. But anyway, let's get into the options. So first, we're just gonna tackle the simple way. This is actually what I do with most of my clients. I just think it's a pretty good rule of thumb for the goals that most of my clients come to me with. So if you can perform an exercise 12 to 14 reps with proper form, you can probably move up in weight. I'm gonna give you a really simple example that deals in progressive overload simply by manipulating the number of reps and the amount of weight that you're using. Remember that with progressive overload, there's lots of different ways to increase the intensity. Weight and reps is just two of them, but here's a great example. So you're gonna start with a weight that challenges you at 8 reps. Once that feels less challenging, maybe after a week or two, I want you to up it to 10 reps. Rinse, repeat, up it to 12 reps. Then I like to add weight at 12 reps. From there, you're gonna cycle back down to 8 reps and just repeat the process. So again, there is a lot more that can go into programming. This is just one example that's really simple if you have a lot of access to weight and you wanna keep it easy. But let's jump into the other way. So recently I made a video that broke down programming based on the NASM OPT model. Since that is my main certification, we're gonna base all of these rep ranges and intensity percentages based off of what I have learned. So the weight that you're gonna choose is gonna be based off of your goal or what phase of programming you're in. Now you will need to know what your 1 rep max is, or just kind of have an idea of it to make sure that you are training in the correct zone or in the correct percentage intensity. And just in case you don't know, your 1 rep max is the max weight that you can perform an exercise at with proper form. That was like almost English, you get it. It's the most that you can do, lift. So to figure out your 1 rep max, you can like try and do it manually. Obviously, that can get a little dicey. So there are also other methods. The one that I'm gonna show you today, I actually found from the University of New Mexico. And essentially what this is, you're taking a formula and you're taking your max at 4 to 6 reps, and then you're just gonna like do some math and it's gonna spit out what it thinks your 1 rep max is. Obviously, there is some guesswork in this. Obviously, it's not going to be 100% accurate, but it's a good way just to kind of gauge about what your 1 rep max is so you can then calculate what weight you should be using based off of your specific goal or phase of training. So I've actually never done this before. So we're gonna go into the gym next door and we're gonna do it. Okay, so we're gonna test our 1 rep max for upper and lower body. So the rule of thumb is whatever you max out at for like 4 to 6 reps. So let's tackle upper first. We're gonna just do like a strict overhead press. So let's try 30. Oh God, this feels heavy. Okay, so we're looking for 4 reps here. So what I'm trying to do here is hit a standing plank. So essentially, as I press my arms up overhead, you can see I'm closing the rib cage, squeezing the glutes, just like if you're doing a plank on the ground. I'm trying to hit this to make sure I'm actually in proper form. Woo, she wobbly. Because otherwise I really can't count this as my max at 4 to 6 reps. Oh God. Okay. That was tough. So now lower body. When I think lower body, I think like a squat. This would be way more accurate with like a barbell. What do you think? Squat, deadlift? These aren't great to deadlift though. Why is it so loud out here? All right, we're just gonna accept that this is gonna be highly inaccurate, but then I'm like, can I do more with a squat? Let's do a deadlift. We're gonna try, oh God, I need my gloves. We're gonna try 45 in each hand. Okay, so we're all learning together. This is why I don't do this with my clients. Because it's not accurate with dumbbells. Oh, shit. Gotta start from the floor. Can't get up. Okay, 4 to 6 reps. So as I look at these dumbbells with dread, you can see I'm getting nice and low to pick them up. This stance is going to be a little bit different than every other stance I take. Also remember with dumbbells, it's just really difficult to do like traditional deadlifts, which is what I was going for. But you'll see shoulders are above the hips ever so slightly. We want to make sure that there's no rounding of that lumbar spine, keeping the weights nice and close like you're shaving the legs. And this was actually like, I'm going to talk about it. This was pretty easy. I was pretty impressed with myself. Whew. Okay, that actually wasn't bad. I probably could have done 10 like that. Let's just round up. Let's say 50, let's say 100 for lower body. So we say 60 upper, 100 lower. Upper was probably more like 50 if we're being honest. We're gonna look back at the form. So if it was shitty form, we're gonna go 50 for upper. That we're gonna say, I know I could do more with that. So we're gonna say 100 for lower body. Okay, so let's go through each phase of programming and we're gonna quickly discuss what percentage of your 1 rep max you should be working on, again, for your specific goal. So starting at the bottom with stabilization endurance, remember that this is about training in unstable environments. So you're gonna be using things like a Bosu ball, you're gonna be doing things like unilateral training. And in this phase, you wanna be training 50 to 70% of your 1 rep max. So for me, that would be this for upper body and this for lower body. I haven't done the math yet, so I'm just gonna edit it in later. Jumping up to strength endurance, remember with this phase of programming, many times you're gonna see supersets of strength and stability exercises together. So a common exercise pairing would be a deadlift with then a single leg elevated bridge, making sure that you're targeting the hamstrings in both of those. And for this, you're also gonna work at about 50 to 70% of your 1 rep max. So again, for me, that's gonna be this for upper body and this for lower body. Jumping up to hypertrophy, again, this is going to be all about your max muscle growth. So this is high volume training, very simple and traditional exercises, so nothing too fancy. In this phase, you're actually gonna train 75 to 85% of your 1 rep max. So you're really gonna be pushing, again, just building that muscle. So if I was training for hypertrophy, I would use this for upper body and I would use this for lower body. Jumping up again, we've got max strength. So this is going to be all about your max force production. Again, this is gonna be more simple, traditional lifts, and you're gonna see long rest periods because you're going to be working at 85 to 100% of your 1 rep max. So for me, we've got upper body and we've got lower body. And then our final phase is power. So this is all about increasing your neuromuscular efficiency. And a lot of these exercises will be about working for speed. How quickly can you perform something with proper form? Just like strength endurance, you see supersets a lot with this programming, but this time it's gonna be supersets of strength and power. So a great example would be a goblet squat paired with a jump squat. And in this phase, you're gonna be training 30 to 45% of your 1 rep max. So for me, this is gonna be upper body, this is gonna be lower body, and this is definitely lower than any other phase because we're working for speed here. We're not working for force production. So that's gonna be a huge difference. All right, well, a giant, looks like an oxygen tank truck just parked right outside my window. So, I guess that means it's the end of the video. And always remember, like I said at the beginning, the best weight is the one that's gonna keep you showing up, that keeps you consistent, keeps you motivated, and keeps you working toward your goals. So really just take everything I said with a grain of salt. This should always act more as a guide rather than like set in stone. Okay, it's getting so loud outside. Gotta go. Bye.